It's yours. The world is yours. It's mine, it's mine. Whose world is this?
Yo, what's good, everyone? It's Leak, and I'm back with another reaction video by my boy The King. We're gonna be looking at DbD Licensed Chapter concepts and breakdowns by mainly Springtrap, the Keeper, and the Spider. I'm very interested to see how the Spider and the Keeper one will mainly play out. I kind of have an idea of like similar concepts of what people think that Springtrap should do, so I'm kind of curious to see what the Keeper and the Spider would do. I'm sorry if my voice sounds like completely like I'm sorry if it sounds so dry. I literally just woke up just now, so yeah, my fault. But let's get into this stuff.
Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel to Theory Time, a brand new series where we're going to explore everything that deals with theories and speculation. In today's video, we are taking a look at concepts for what potentially could be the brand new chapter for the 6th year anniversary in Dead by Daylight. The characters we're going to look
right
at
around
today
the corner,
are the ones that we consider personally the front runners of what's to come into Dead by Daylight, with those killer being Springtrap from FNAF, the Keeper from The Evil Within, and a Spider concept that's actually original. I hope you guys do enjoy, and don't forget, we currently are live on Twitch. The link is down below if you would like to say hello. I would really appreciate it. Let's jump on in to this video. Starting off with the first character on the list, the animatronic or Springtrap. This concept was done by Awesome Alan 1 on Reddit. So here's what the power would look like. Jump scare. The entity spreads your curse across the entire map.
Oh, we're not gonna, I mean, maybe he's looking at the more underrated concepts. I would say Rarif Leaks, man, he had a pretty amazing concept. I think he should give him some praise, because that concept was crazy. That Mori too, come on now. The
hiding places of cowards into instruments of mayhem. Jump scare. The animatronic is able to transfer its consciousness to other animatronic suits, while they are hidden throughout the map inside of lockers. While a survivor's inside your terror radius, jump scare will charge. More survivors in your terror radius will cause the charge to build faster.
While survivors inside your terror radius, jump scare will charge. More survivors in your terror radius will cause the charge to build up. Does it also work, like, say if how can I say it? Say if a survivor is just hiding behind a rock, and then you see a jump scare, like you see a jump scare meter charging up, right? Wouldn't that entail like that survivor is hiding near you, like in your side of your terror radius? It'll work. He'll almost have like a passive whispers ability, which is kind of neat, I gotta say. But I also like the conscious part too. I feel like that would be pretty lit.
Once fully charged, press and hold the power button while in front of a locker to dismantle your current self, your consciousness, reappearing out of the locker of your choice with a new animatronic body. Once you reappear out of the locker, you gain the undetectable status effect for 12 seconds. Using your ability depletes its charges by 25%. The special ability
almost gives me a Demogorgon vibe, but instead the traps are already just placed for you. You don't have to place the traps, because you know how Demogorgon, when he teleports to the portal, he gets that little undetectable status effect, and then it goes away. That's what it kind of reminds me of a little bit.
Supernatural security. Press the active ability button while in front of a generator to install a security camera. Pressing the button again while out of range of the security camera will cause a small screen to appear, allowing you to monitor the area and scout for survivors.
Yeah, I don't know how badly I also want to kill it with cameras, bro. I feel like that would be the coolest thing in the world. Especially if the lore is on point too. Like, come on, devs. Like, come on, please.
Button again will close the screen.
Camera would be so dope,
Each security camera has their own durability, and staring at the screen will drain it, covering the screen with static and then ultimately destroying the security camera. Security cameras cannot be placed within 64 meters of each other.
That's
the animatronic comes with 3 unique teachable perks. The first one is
64 meters though.
The security cameras cannot be placed within 64 meters of each other.
So that means the camera has to be big.
The animatronic comes with 3 unique teachable perks. The first one is,
what I mean is like it scouts, literally it does like a 360 or something. 64 meters, bro. That's kind of big. I'm not gonna lie.
Help wanted. When a survivor is hooked, this perk activates. If any survivor outside your terror radius is repairing a generator, it will instantly explode and regress its progress by 7, 8, or 9%. So
Wait, if any survivor outside your territory is repairing a generator, it will instantly explode and regress its progress. Okay, that's
survivors
crazy.
who choose to continue repairing will have their aura shown until the next skill check. The next teachable perk is Hex 87. Upon killing your first survivor, if there's a dull totem on the map, this hex is applied to it. At a distance of 40, 38, or 36 meters away from a survivor, you appear as a running survivor with any survivors looking in your direction. The final perk is Tampered Servos looking in your direction. The final perk is with any survivor.
What the hell?
Survivors looking in your direction. The final perk is Tampered Servos.
Bro, that's literally the prime example of originality, creativity, and diversity in the game. You telling me, right? You telling me there will be a hex perk that will cause the killer to look like a survivor from a certain distance away? You know how crazy that is? Even if it doesn't really sound as strong, and if you with comms, it might not really work. But this is exactly what I'm talking about when these type of perks and stuff that need to be put in the game, because they're more diverse, they're more original, they're more creative. You know what I'm trying to say? If you have more of that in the game, I'm looking forward to it, bro.
You appear as a running survivor with any survivors looking in your direction.
Literally mind blown by
the final perk is Tampered Servos.
That's crazy.
The exit gates will now have skill checks. When a survivor attempts to power the exit gate, they will be met with incredibly difficult skill checks.
I'm done.
If failed skill checks, this will result in an explosion and will regress its progress by 6, 8, and 10%.
That's a troll. That's a troll. What's it called, bro? You can't sit there and tell me that's not a troll perk, bro. If you was to do that with Remember Me and like Blood Warning or something crazy like that, bro, you know how ridiculous that would be? And No Way Out or something like that? You bugging.
There you have it. That is the concept of the animatronic to come into Dead by Daylight. This will be a monumental chapter to come into Dead by Daylight for the 6th year anniversary, and there is a decent possibility of something like this happening. So it's nice to see a concept. Again, shout out to Awesome Alan for making this and putting it all together.
Listen, bro, Awesome Alan, bro, you did a good job. I don't care what nobody else say, bro. Listen, you did a good job. I'm just telling you that right now, because first of all, that one perk caught me dumb off guard, bro. I don't think I saw any survivor, any perk, any killer perk that's even remotely close to what you just said. If anything, it might be a killer power, but a perk that any other killer could use, bro. Like that's wild, bro. Like what? So you telling me Michael Myers, right? If I'm using Michael Myers and I'm a certain distance away, I'll look like a running survivor. That's crazy, bro. You did a good job, bro. You deserve praise. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Takes us to our next post. I'll leave the link down in the description, as the user is no longer available on Reddit. This is the Keeper from the Evil Within. This chapter was made a long time ago, so some of the powers and perks
I'll kind of lose my mind if it's Evil Within, bro. I'm not gonna lie. If it's Evil Within, I would, bro. I don't know, bro. Like that game is creepy to me. Like that game is creepy enough, bro. Like I really don't know what I would do if this game is in DbD, bro. I'll be really curious to what he would do though. I know he would have something to do with teleportation, because of the fact that in the game he could off himself, and then when he does that, he teleports to like a different safe head of himself, and then he just starts chasing you again. Or even sometimes he could multiply himself. That would be cool if they was to add the fact that he could multiply himself in DbD. I just don't know how they incorporate it. I guess it will kind of be like an AI controlled or something like that. I don't know how they would do that.
A little bit off, so bear with me.
But they be creative too, so
Dead by Daylight, the Evil Within, with the new killer, the Keeper. The power for this killer is the Craftsman Tools. This is your domain, and the entity has given you the tools to exert your will over its inhabitants. You start the game with 4 keeper safes placed around the map and 6 wire traps in your inventory. The keeper can hold and throw wire traps.
Hang on. You start the trial game. There's 4 keeper safes. Yeah. See, like the game, and 6 wire traps in your inventory.
Using the secondary action key. Once the trap hits the ground, it becomes armed after 2 seconds, immobilizing any survivor that walks into it, allowing the keeper to grab them. Wire traps
didn't he explain the a keeper concept like this before? I should have sworn he explained one before like this. I'm not gonna lie.
can be escaped or disabled by a channeled action for 10 seconds. This time is halved when in the killer's terror radius. The keeper can emerge from any safe on the map by holding the alternate action key. In doing so, the keeper tears apart his own head and places it in the current location as a usable keeper safe. While emerging from the keeper safe, the keeper's terror radius is reduced to 0 and remains silenced for 3 additional seconds after emerging. The keeper comes with 3 unique teachable perks.
It's extremely simple, but that's exactly how I picture the keeper being in the game. I don't think there's really no other way of him being implemented into the game. So I think this concept just hits it right on the nail. If Keeper is the 6th anniversary, I picture his power being something extremely similar to that. I'm not gonna lie. Simple, but
the first is
effective at the same
Sentinel.
time.
Each time you hit your obsession, the progress of each generator is instantly regressed by 8, 9, and 10%. The next perk is Hex Iron Skin. Each time you are stunned by a pallet, Iron Skin gains a token. For each token, your pallet breaking speed and pallet stun recovery increases by 7%. This can have a maximum of 6, 7, and 8 tokens. And finally,
makes that one enduring. Call it end of the day, bro.
Hamstring.
I'll tell you that right now.
Upon entering a chase with an injured survivor, that survivor suffers moderately from the hindered status effect for 10 seconds. Hamstring has a cooldown of 40, 35, and 30 seconds. So there you have it, an cooldown of...
Upon entering a chase with an injured survivor, that survivor suffers moderately from the hindered status effect for 10 seconds. Hamstring has a cooldown of 40, 35, and 30 seconds.
40,
that's kinda
35,
neat,
and 30 seconds.
But
so
it'll kind of be that perk where I just get it, I probably use it for 2 games, and I'm just like, I won't really use it anymore.
There you have it, an interesting concept for the Keeper. As I mentioned, this concept is over 3 years old, so the power is a little bit older than something that we would expect, being very similar to the Trapper, as well as other killers that can now teleport. There's much to add on to this if the Keeper was to potentially come into DbD, and I think they would do a really awesome job with it. But this is a base idea of what could...
I'll be extremely surprised if it's literally the 6th anniversary, and he's just talking about it like right now. That would be crazy to me. Like, I feel like he should have chose one of the creatures from Dead Space 2 as a concept. I feel like that would be pretty cool. I would love to see how that chapter will play out in DbD, especially as a for survivor mains too, because that will be literally the first time that survivors get a fully concealed survivor in the game. You know what I'm trying to say? I think that would be pretty lit to have, because you know Isaac, he's completely concealed from head to toe.
Could potentially be a chapter in Dead by Daylight. And finally, the last killer on the list for today is made by JSL99 on Reddit, and this is the Weaver Killer, or a spider, coming in as an original chapter for the 6th-year anniversary. Let's look at them titties. Take a look. The power would be Spider Sense. You have the ability to weave webs around the trial to slow down and track survivors. Start the trial with 10 webs. Press the power button to weave a web onto the ground or on one of the following objects. Windows, where survivors that vault through the webbed window will be hindered for 5 seconds. Pallets, webs must be removed to be able to interact with the web pallets. Doorways, survivors that walk or run through web doorways will be hindered for 5 seconds.
So off the rip, it's already giving me like a, how can I say it, like Freddy. You know how he could just place down his snares? So imagine snares some way, somehow being placed on windows and pallets and doorways and stuff like that. Even though you could already place them around doors, but something like that, and then just extend the hindered status effect time by when you run through the blood. And that's basically how I envision this power being something similar to Freddy like that. It's just not
webs
that bad.
Take 3 seconds to weave. If you run out of webs to weave, the new web will replace the oldest web. A web on the ground will cover a 5-meter area. If any
Webs take 3 seconds to weave. If you run out of the web to weave the new web, will replace the oldest web. A web on the ground will cover a 5-meter area.
survivor comes into contact with the web, you'll be notified and can press the secondary ability button to enter Hunting Crawl. Crawl. While in Hunting Crawl, survivors will be revealed by Killer's Instinct for 10 seconds. You also gain 15% movement speed for 10 seconds. You can attack survivors, which will end the ability. You can crawl over pallets and vault windows at 100% faster speeds.
What?
After coming out of Hunting Crawl, you can't attack survivors for 5 seconds. Hunting Crawl has a cooldown of 40 seconds. Of course, this comes with 3 unique teachable perks. The first one being Arachnophobia. While in chase with your obsession...
I thought it was just going to be like something similar to like Freddy and just call it a day, but that joint really put the icing on the cake, bro. That would be crazy if for killers to do something like that. Like, they just get that notification, they just start going really fast. That almost kind of reminds me of when Scott Judd, when he made that rework series for the Trapper, where the Trapper, say if the Trapper was to get trapped on the trap, no, the Trapper was to get trapped on the trap. Say that 3 times fast. But say if a survivor was to get trapped, was to get trapped by the Trapper's trap, was to get trapped by the Trapper's trap, right? And the Trapper is far away, he would get that notification, and he would start going extremely fast if he could get to the survivor in time before they escape from the trap. He said something similar to that from his rework series. I think that would be pretty cool to have for a spider killer, because it not only doesn't make sense because that is literally a spider, but I feel like it would just be cool to see how it plays out, and it'll also be cool to see, and it'll be really cool to feel how it is, because I feel like that would just be pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Arachnophobia activates. All survivors other than...
Even though it's pretty simple, but I still feel like it would just be extremely effective, because why not?
Obsession will hear your terror radius and suffer from a 20% penalty to generator repair speeds. This has a cooldown of 60 seconds. The second perk is Hex.
Hang on, I'm over here pausing. I didn't even get
this.
On the chase with your obsession. What does that say, bro? I'm just gonna go for Arachnophobia activates. Arachnophobia activates. All survivors other than your obsession will hear your terror radius and suffer from a 20% penalty to generator speed. That almost gives me the vibe of what was it, Chlorophobia, where instead of it being generator speed, it's your healing speed, and it's also by like 50%. So that kind of gives me this type of vibe.
Has a cooldown of 60 seconds. The second perk is Hex Tangled Up. The entity will block window vaults 1 vault earlier when survivors vault in chases.
What?
Any window blocked by the entity will affect 4 survivors in the trial and won't unblock until the totem is cleansed.
Any window blocked by the entity will affect 4 survivors in the trial and won't unblock until the totem is cleansed. Any window blocked by the entity will affect 4 survivors in the trial and won't unblock until the totem is cleansed. You know how strong that is, yo? Do you know how, bro? I feel like this perk will work so great on that one loop in RPD, bro. Like, yo, you know that one loop that's like right next to the say you in front of the building, right? And you know that one loop, as soon as you go straight and then to your right downstairs, that one loop area, I feel like that would work pretty great over there, because that window is insane. That whole loop is insane, especially if you a survivor that really knows how to loop well. Like, they could really take advantage of that loop. If you're not like the nurse or blight, anybody who could catch up, you're gonna have a hard time. And
finally, Hex Bloodthirsty. 3 extra Dull totems will spawn into the trial. This Hex will switch to a Dull totem every 30 seconds. Any survivor within 20 meters of the totem suffer from the exposed status effect. The effect will linger for 10 seconds when leaving the totem's range. The totem...
3 extra Dull totems will spawn into the trial. This hex will switch to all dual totems every 30 seconds. Any SAR within 20 meters of the totem suffer from the exposed status effect. That's crazy. The effect will linger for 10 seconds when leaving the totem's range.
When being cleansed. So there we go. That is the spider concept, again made by JSL99. A rather interesting concept to what original spider killer would look like.
So doesn't that mean you get exposed like 3 times then? Or you could potentially get exposed 3 times? That's kind of crazy.
In Dead by Daylight. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like down below and subscribe for some more videos like this. Again, this is pretty much similar to what we've done in the past, but now it's a brand new series.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I should have sworn that keeper concept, I think he done something like that before. I think he explained that on before. I just think he forgot, maybe. I swear, I definitely remember him posting a video where it was a keeper concept and he explained that exact same thing. But I think it was the fact that he could, what was it? That he could swing his, what's that thing in his hand that he be swinging around the game to hit you with? But yeah, that he could swing and hit you with that, and then you could fly across the map or something crazy like that, and like you could end up on a hook, something like that. It was something crazy like that. I definitely remember a keeper concept similar to the one he just explained in this video.
A brand new look and a brand new feel. I hope you guys really did enjoy the extra effort. And if you did, leave a like and subscribe. And don't forget, we are currently live on Twitch trying to rebuild our audience, so I would love to see you guys there. With that being said, I've been the King. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of the creators will be linked down in the description below. As always, I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.
Yeah, that wasn't bad at all. I definitely like Springtrap's one out of them all, mainly because of the fact that 1 is Springtrap. Let's be real here, and 2, I also like the fact that that perk, yo, that hex perk is really that joint blew my mind, because it's like, it's not even the fact that that's a power of somebody's. That means any other killer could use that power to their, could use that perk into their advantage, which is crazy. Because I'm just like, what? Like, imagine a killer like Ghostface doing that. You know what I'm trying to say? You know how gimmicky that would look? Like, you just, okay, is this a random server from afar? But then, nah, that server is actually Ghostface. You know what I'm trying to say? It'll be pretty gimmicky to see, for sure, and it'll also be cool to play out. But perks aside, I think the power is very how can I say it? It's simple, but it's effective. I noticed all the powers are really just simple and effective. I definitely like the camera one though. The camera one is definitely one that'll be original, because of course we never had a camera killer in DbD, so to have a camera killer in DbD would be cool. Especially if it's like a kill like Springtrap, I feel like that would be pretty cool having and to see. That 64-meter joint though, bro. Like, yo, that 64-meter joint, dude, that's crazy, bro. I mean, I guess it's just to be fair, you know what I'm trying to say? It would be crazy if you could just place the camera wherever you want. It don't matter how close it is. I think that would be pretty wicked. But I guess 64 meters is not that bad. Because when you really think about it, that's just like your radius times 2. So you have to place a camera like all that is kind of far though, bro. When you really think about it, that's kind of far. I mean, you either way you'll get some intel. So it's like, I'd rather have intel within the power rather than having intel within perks. Because it's like, then you don't have to worry about having intel within perks, because you already have intel within the power. You know what I'm trying to say? That's like the main reason why I don't use, like, how can I say, why I don't use like barbecue and chili on like artists or something like that, because she already has intel within her power, because she could just spawn a crow, send the crow out that way, and then if it hits you, I know you over there. You know what I'm trying to say? I know most servers over here too, possibly. Because you could also get the, if the crows do miss the survivor or survivors, it how can I say it? It gives you that killer instinct. So it's like, regardless, you get that info you need from the crows alone. You don't really need like a perk like barbecue and chili or anything like that just to show where they at, or discordance. You can just use the crows and then get all the intel you need. or at least some intel if you need it. But yeah, that conscious one too, that was kind of like that kind of just gave me a vibe of the Demogorgon already having his portals already placed on the ground, so all he really has to do is just teleport to them. That's kind of what it reminds me of, especially like the undetectable status effect part where he where Springtrap could get that short undetectable status effect to use that to his advantage. That's like how Demogorgon gets that short undetectable status effect when he teleports to a portal. So I found that kind of similar. I also like how in the Spiders one she could get a speed boost when she notices that anybody's on the big web. I feel like that would be pretty enjoyable to play, because not only do I like mobility in the killer, I also like that pressure, because obviously you need that pressure to really scare survivors off gens and just do anything to survivors that make them run away from their objective. So I feel like that would definitely make them run away from their objective, because it will put them in extreme pressure. It'll put them under pressure, and then she could just, the spider could just take advantage of that. I feel. Also like the perk that the spider could vault a window and break a pallet like 100%. Nah, it wasn't break a pallet. She could crawl over a pallet or window like 100% faster. I feel like that would be technically a buff Legion, because Legion has to activate their power and they could vault over windows and they could vault over pallets, but they would just put you in a madness state. You know what I'm trying to say? Like they didn't say nothing about no madness state. So that means if the spider vaults over that window or that pallet, if that survivor hits you, that's a hope state. You know what I'm trying to say? It's no madness state. That's a hope state. So I feel like that would just be strong already by itself. And especially the fact that the spider could slow you down on top of that. I feel like a lot of people won't have fun going against that at all. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people won't have fun going against that at all. I mean, which is fair. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I do care about survivors' fun most of the time. Most of the time I just feel like dominating them, I'm not gonna lie. Especially with my boy Pinhead. Even though sometimes it can really be a struggle because them chains break way too easily. But I mean, who doesn't like the killer that's dominating? Let's be real here. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this reaction video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you're new. I'm sorry for the delay of consistency. I just been pretty busy at the moment, so it might be a short gap between like posting videos and stuff. But I do have a concept coming soon. I might release the teaser later on today, a second teaser, because I already released the first teaser like a while back. So I'm gonna release a second teaser today later. So I definitely have a concept coming, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Take care, love y'all, and peace.
To the beat, y'all.
Check it out.
Come on. 1, 2.
1, 2, yo.
What you going?